Every 2 months and explain.
So we're seeing video conferencing today. Who are you?
Oh, this is Sudha Valaru. I'm the co-founder and CEO for Vivu.
Vivu, and I've seen you before.
Yeah.
We're in your new Cupertino office.
Now we are very close to Apple now.
Yeah, well, and I grew up just right down the street here.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Stole
and
apricots right across the street.
That's right. We moved in here like close to like 4 months now.
Yeah.
The team is growing, and we may have to move out from here.
Well, since I saw you last, you have an iPad version?
Yeah, this is the iPad version. It's a pretty cool one. As you could see, you could have yourself and Michael Harrington and a bunch of other folks. I think this was an always-on event. And then you have the slides that synchronize with the video, and you can make the slides bigger and the small if you want it, and you can make the video the full screen and in full HD quality. That's our Tony Perkins at Always On. And another interesting thing we did was you could actually have the Twitter and the chat going on along the same time. So you could focus on this, or you can come back and watch the video and go back.
So last time I was here, we saw your your room-based system over here.
Yeah.
Which was Flash-based, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So you converted it to HTML5 so you can play it on an iPad.
Absolutely. Now we actually got HD quality. Now we can get it into full HD. It's all coming off from basically Skype and Flash and with our own technology.
Got it.
Use the Skype to basically, again, reach out to all the contacts, and then you have the presence of all your contacts. You click on it and have an instant video collaboration. And one cool thing we did was, now next time you got to promise me to try this out. When you, Mike, and Steve are having a conference call through Skype, multi-party through our Vivu, you can broadcast it out to thousands of people. You don't
okay, so I can have like 3 or 4 people?
3, 4, 8, up to 8 people. After that, it starts to getting a little smaller and smaller. Okay. Up to 8 people, we think that you get a reasonable quality. Again, if you have a huge display, good bandwidth, you can go up to 10 or 12.
Okay.
The good thing is, with the click of a button, the same video conference, you can broadcast it out.
Who are you sitting with, by the way?
Oh, this is our John Loneta. He is our head of sales and marketing.
Awesome.
And he has been with us from day one. I think last time when we had a conversation with it.
When I think you were here in February.
Yeah.
At Plug and Play. But we've grown since then, and like Suda said, we've gone out from the development workshop and have been spending a lot of time in the enterprise space.
Yeah.
Which is a very hot space.
What are you seeing happen in video conference and enterprise? Because Rackspace has 3,000 employees, and we're opening multiple offices. We just hired another big guy in Europe, so we need video conferencing technology. And
this is exactly what we did at Amway. Amway is one of our biggest customers. Actually, we need to thank Skype for that. They brought us that account. So Amway, think of it like there is a social aspect to it and also the enterprise aspect to it. That means they have their own employees and also reaching out to their own agents, quote unquote. So when they first tried out our product, they signed up for like 50 licenses. And then they tried it out, and with zero hardware being there in their premises, they're able to quickly go up to 500, and they're ready to go up to 7,000 seats. Mm-hmm. So that's a perfect example. And like going back to your rack space, again, whether you have 500 or 10,000, it doesn't really matter. Without having any hardware, we could have a very high-quality video conferencing. What we do is we have something called MXP implementation. We call that a media exchange protocol. Okay. It lets you do a couple of interesting things. Like, for example, when you have like a cluster of users, let's just say you have 1,000 people in one building, and most of them are involved in a video conferencing, we detect that if the traffic stays within local, then you don't even take it on to the WAN space. So you ease up the WAN optimization.
Okay.
And also, we don't have anything, what you call it as a centralized MCU, the hardware. Like if you go with a Tandberg, Polycom kind of devices, you need to have an MCU, the hardware in your closet.
Yeah.
What we do is we leverage the endpoint.
Which is not very useful.
You cannot scale also at the same time.
And like Rackspace people are working at home, they're working,
That's another
they want to
thing.
sit around the kitchen and video conference.
Absolutely. And again, if say, for example, you bought a system for like 50 or 100 ports, and you have a little bit more than that wants to participate, you run out of resources.
Now, why not just use Skype? What do you guys do that Skype doesn't do?
So in fact, what we do is we bring in for the enterprise quality security. So we authenticate, and you can manage our systems. So you could have an on-premises or off-premises, and also we can do one-to-many. So it's the same piece of software. We leverage the Skype for the presence part of it, but you could have 5 people collaborating. Oh, by the way, along with the video, you can do your PowerPoint presentation, the desktop.
I hate PowerPoint.
Any flash media file.
Any slide video. No, sometimes a morning call when you want to have your staff meeting and you want to go through some status report, then you can share the documents and things like that. So it is more like a collaborative thing. We're not trying to replace Skype. In fact, Skype does help us a lot when you reach out to the enterprise accounts.
Oh, yeah.
They want to have reports. They want to have ability to provision things. They want to archive some other meetings, and sometimes use the same software to have one-to-many for a training sessions and all that. So it's a good complement rather than compete.
Got it. And Skype does Skype run on an iPad? I don't remember. Actually, they do have a Skype app.
Yeah, they have a one-to-one.
I've used it on an iPhone, not on the iPad.
iPad. It's a one-to-one thing.
Yeah, because there's no camera yet.
Yeah, there's no camera yet. Once you get the camera, I think that's going to get pretty interesting.
Okay. How much do you charge? Who's this appropriate for?
So for example, we do have an online version, like consumers could buy it for $9.95 instead of a WebEx or a
Is that per year or per month?
Per month.
Per month. Okay.
So WebEx, I think they pay $50 or $60. Here we provide the video, multi-party video, the slides, and traditional way you can bring in a bridge to what you call like a telephone bridge, so people can dial in through regular telephone, all the things that you do in a WebEx, and then on top of it you can archive that. So that's one version of a consumer side facing thing. So they go to online and subscribe to that. But there's an enterprise version where it's based on the number of seats. If you have 500 users.
Now Rackspace has 3,000 employees, but I would guess only 20 of them would use it at one time.
Yeah.
Do you have to buy 20 seats or 3,000 then?
No, it could be for the concurrent usage, or it could be per seats based on what the model is. So we do have what you call as a enterprise licensing, then all you can eat. So you can have it on Rackspace have your own hosting, I believe.
Yeah.
So your IT guy might say, hey, for some of the persistent data, I want it to be on my data center. I don't want it to be on the cloud. We can work with that model also. You can have an on-premises solution. For all your secure data or the persistent data, it stays on premises, and you can leverage our Vivu cloud to reach out to any part of the world.
Got it.
So that means you can have an internal meetings, or you can invite somebody else from France.
We're into cloud stuff, so.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's one of the things actually I thought we should catch up with you because there are a few pockets in the world we're not able to reach out, like in South America, and there are places in Africa we can't reach out. In North America and in Europe, we are pretty much in Australia, we're in decent shape.
Yeah.
So those are the places I think you need to help us out, how we can get the reachability throughout the globe.
Well, we have CDN, but that doesn't really work for video conferencing.
That's a good discussion. We cannot leverage off the shelf or whatever that's available CDN because they bring a latency. Even if you use Akamai, it brings a latency of a good 4 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
When you're having a real-time video conferencing, it won't help. Yeah. So what we did was we partnered with a bunch of cloud vendors, like for example Amazon EC2, and there's another, think of it like a Xerox PARC kind of place in Australia called Ornet. It's for academic.
We gotta get you. We gotta get you on the Rackspace cloud.
Oh, you got it. We can't wait for it. So we put like an overlay on top of all this, basically the cloud service guys, and then we do our video routing on it. That gives you the low latency. So we have to bring in the low latency network on top of the presence part.
Very cool. Anything else going on that we should talk about?
Yeah, we actually.
I mean, the quality is beautiful.
Yeah, it's getting really nice. That's Bharti, our support and sales engineer.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a big thing we brought in. With the H264, you get HD quality. With the $9.95, you get an HD quality.
Now, what kind of camera do you need? What kind of?
Oh, yeah, you can show it. That's the one. It's what
simple
is it?
store bought.
How much is it, Siva? Is it $80, $50?
$60. Yeah, go down to Fry's and.
Who makes this one?
This is a Microsoft, but we use also a Logitech and a Creative.
Microsoft just announced a new HD camera, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's the Microsoft HD, and
Well, they just announced a new HD just yesterday. Or
oh, by the way, he's our co-founder, Siva. He is the
Hey.
genius behind the product.
What's that?
I'm Siva, by the way.
So you're the hardcore math geek
Maybe.
who
Not
knows
so
how to
much.
make video.
I got to share one thing. He was the youngest Java developer in the world. When he was 13, he got a Java certification. So
Wow.
he is the main behind. He's my co-founder.
Very cool.
So most of the video magic comes from him.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
he wants to show you that.
Yeah, we were talking about the camera. So
Yeah.
actually, right now, Bharti is using this little creative camera, the one,
Yeah.
the HD camera. I think right now, a bunch of them are available. This one is Logitech here. We work with most of the cameras.
Which one do you think is best?
Maybe there's one version from Logitech which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's the one
mic-
I got.
The Microsoft one is also pretty decent.
Yeah.
This is pretty
It's just
decent.
720p HD.
Does the Microsoft one work on Macintosh though?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Yeah.
Logitech one does, but not
Yeah.
the Microsoft one.
Microsoft just announced a new HD one, which I have to go and check out too. So.
Okay. For us,
They're getting fairly low cost, less than $100 for
Yeah,
an
and
HD.
then- yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
and then you get HD quality video.
Yeah.
And also our focus all along has been to but on the network side. In the sense, with our MXP protocol, we figure it out, adapt to the bandwidth. If you have more bandwidth or lesser bandwidth, based on that, you scale the video up and gracefully scale down, and leverage the endpoints. So, thanks to Intel and AMD, you got a pretty darn good processor at the endpoints.
Yep.
Those are the endpoints where you do the muxing and figuring it out. What should be the QoS.
And that's what he coded was all the.
This is
protocol.
all Siva. That's we have like at least 4 patents on it, and all. He is the author of that.
Yeah.
So.
I used to work at a video conferencing company at Winov, and man, this stuff is getting so good compared to back in the mid '90s when I worked there. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't do this for $50,000
No, you
10 years
couldn't.
ago. You know.
Actually, it's going to be pretty interesting. In Amway, when they did the testing of a product and they compared against a Tandberg, and they took the decision over Tandberg and buy our stuff. So that was, and just using a good HD webcams, you're able to get this kind of HD quality video, and also a reachable. You can go across the, not just the the systems, like you can go through the browser and get the handheld devices. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That
So
was
what's
a
next
good
for you guys? I bet
And,
he's working hard trying to go out and sell it, right?
Yeah, well, that's so to answer your question earlier is like what we're finding at large enterprises that they've spent the last 10 years investing in Polycom rooms, big bulky WebEx contracts, and none of it really works together, right? You have to shuffle everybody in a conference room for an event. WebEx
So
doesn't
many
always-
people have invested so much in those room bases, and
Exactly.
nobody ever uses them, right?
Exactly, and so what we found is the CIOs will say, "Can you just help us make it work together?"
Yeah.
And what we also found is, a company with 3,000 employees, a lot of them are using Skype informally as a personal preference. So we come in and say, not only will we transform your Skype buddy list into a WebEx equivalent, if not better, with HD video, but our other flagship product, ViewCast in the browser, will make everything work together from Polycom and any other hardware-based solutions.
And you guys work on Mac and PC?
Yeah, that's the nice thing.
That's the nice
Yeah.
thing. So when you can do multi-party video, whether you're on a Mac or a PC, it won't matter.
Yeah.
That's another big one. And the next big one is handheld device. The
Yeah.
Android device is going to be huge for us
Ah,
because
you're
actually
working on mobile devices?
mobile device is the next big thing.
Yeah, are you working on iPhone too, or?
iPhone actually does that again on the front-end camera. They need to open it up a little bit more. They haven't done that yet. With Android, I think very shortly you'll see the full, complete functionality. You'll see in Android devices. So that's another big one.
No, that's really cool. And I don't know if you saw the video I did with Simple Geo. They're in Boulder. They have an office in Boulder, Colorado, and an office in San Francisco. And they just leave a big screen like that on both sides live. And so people can just walk by and see the other office. It's
that's
it's
kinda
a really
cool, yeah.
unique, I want to do that with Rackspace. Just leave a window
You can do
open
that-
so
you can
people
do
can
it
We
in
did that
Yes.
with ours. We can have a
Do it.
perpetual event running.
In fact, you can have multiple displays. Actually, see why you want to make a multi-party call. You can,
Why don't you do
but
it?
you want to do multi-party with other people into it. So you can just leave it running from different locations, and it'll be going on, and you'll be seeing multiple people going. You want to bring in a couple of more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
cool.
can actually show Robert Scoble here.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. This one, yeah.
What can I call you?
Yeah.
And so we're seeing multiple cameras. brought in.
She's bringing on a couple of other people. So
Now, what kind of bandwidth do you need for this? This probably will run at my house on a Comcast line, right?
That's
Oh,
more than
yeah,
plenty. That's more than plenty. If you have a DSL line and uplink of 512, and then a downlink, and I think downlink is never an issue with any of the DSLs.
Yeah.
So you can keep on adding it.
So you got 4 people in there now.
Yeah, and then at any point you can do things like this. Again, you can make this as your main screen, or
Yeah.
I could make this as a main screen. You can do the shuffling back and forth, and then tile them back to like Hollywood squares.
Yeah. And then how does the audio get? Does it equalize the audio, or does it use the audio of somebody talking?
We can do both. So one of the things we could do is, one of the things we do is we leverage Skype for the audio, or else if wherever the Skype is not there, then we leverage with our own audio.
Got it.
And the endpoints do the muxing. There's no central point in any of our solutions today.
Very cool.
All the intelligence is at the endpoints.
Very cool.
And on top of it, of course, I know you're not a big fan of that, but we still have PowerPoints and the desktop sharing.
Yeah.
That's another big thing.
Companies expect you to have it, so it's a necessary.
So that's how it would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can, if you don't like.
No, I just did a video with Prezi, which does a lot better. It's a much better way to do presentations.
Okay.
I used to work at Microsoft. I just hate PowerPoint.
Oh yeah.
I've sat through so many boring PowerPoints in my
So
life.
you
but-
use Keynote?
No, Prezi.
Oh, President.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a web-based mind mapping tool, but a lot of the TED speakers use it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really neat.
So the next big thing is handheld devices
Yeah.
with iPhone or the Android devices, interoperability with Polycom or a Tanbug device. Those are our next 3-4 months, the next big things. And then sustain, and then get more and more customers.
Yeah.
Our customers are ranging from Hilton, Thomson Reuters, Amazon.
I shouldn't
and,
diss PowerPoint too much. It's PowerPoint actually was developed right across the street over here.
Really?
The first time I met the PowerPoint team, they were in Cupertino, which a lot of people don't know. You know.
that I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
back. They were
Yeah,
at.
they
Two
did.
Tower 2.
Yeah, over here before
good.
Microsoft built their campus.
That's right.
They used to be just across the street
Absolutely.
on Dianza and
Absolutely.
Stevens Creek.
And the next big one we are looking at is partnering with a bunch of service providers,
Yeah.
like a British Telecom or a Telesonera guys. So they have, we are not ready to make an announcement, but they have some very interesting applications, leveraging our video and already existing infrastructure application that they have.
Very
That's
cool.
going to make it pretty interesting.
Where,
So
where do we
just-
find you guys?
Vivu.tv, that's our
And it's
website.
spelled VIVU.
Vivu.tv. Yes.
Okay. And are you guys on Twitter?
Yes, we are on Twitter and we follow you, and looks like you started following us.
Where do we find you on Twitter? Is it
The handle is at VVTV.
at VIVU dot? Oh, no
At
dot.
VIVU TV.
Just TV.
You
Okay,
got
cool.
it. Yep.
Thanks so much.
Thank
This
you
is
so much.
a lot of fun and good stuff, and glad to see you supporting the iPad.
Yeah, and then more than that, please let us know when you're ready to do this Gilmore event that you call it.
Gilmore Gang.
Gilmore Gang.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm building a studio, and it looks like Rackspace might even have an office soon in Silicon Valley. So, need more and more of this stuff, and the ability to do multiple party and.
So how do you
broadcast it
go
out.
about? What do we need to do? Do you want to put us in touch with your Rackspace?
We'll talk about that after the camera's off. So, thanks very much.
Thank you, Robert.
Great.